talk about sour grapes. I mean, the fans want to see me and they can't. Oh, that's so sad.
I bet you that.
Yes, this is a really interesting one. It came out 2 days ago on Wednesday, actually. We didn't get a chance to talk about it on Wednesday's podcast. But the story is about LeBron James. Earlier this week, he sent out a tweet discussing the current NBA season, how he's frustrated with the kind of the way the offseason went and the shortened nature of it due to COVID.
Well, he's had plenty of time to be frustrated by it because he hasn't actually been playing.
Yeah, he was actually eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
Lots of time to think.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
by our very own Phoenix Suns here, which I would be I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that and the fact that they are going to go to the finals.
They've been doing okay.
They've been doing pretty well.
Cool.
Yeah,
They've been doing all right.
Yeah.
So as LeBron sits at home on his couch, he's been thinking about this. He's had time to fire off some tweets, and I'll just read a little bit of what he said. He said, quote, "They all didn't want to listen to me about the start of the season. I knew exactly what would happen. I only wanted to protect the well-being of these players, which ultimately is the product and benefit of our game. These injuries isn't just part of the game. It's the lack of pure rest before starting back up." He went on to say, "This is the best time of the year for our league and fans, but missing a ton of our fave players. It's insane. If there's one person that know about the body and how it work all year round, it me."
Why does he talk like that?
I don't know why he
like that.
Why he writes like that. I don't know if he talks like that. He seems like a pretty well-spoken guy, so I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe it's just he was worked up.
He hasn't had enough time since the end of the season to rest his thumbs.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
As he's tweeting, they're just all over. He has no control of that.
Yeah, he has to.
He needs more rest.
Yeah,
pure rest.
The least
Pure
amount of
rest.
characters is the best for him.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I guess that's what that was. So then on Wednesday, Shaquille O'Neal, another NBA great in his own right, came out and made some comments. He didn't particularly mention LeBron by name, but it's pretty obvious what he's referring to here. I think we have a clip of Shaquille and what he had to say.
We're living in a world where 40 million people has been laid off, and I'm making 200 million. You won't get no complaining from me. Hey, if I got to play back to back, and I'm making all that money, I just got to do what the job entitles me to do. I'm not knocking what anybody said, but me personally, I don't complain or make excuses.
I find it pretty interesting. He said, I'm not knocking what anybody said, but
which tells you that he knows somebody said something.
He knows he's
something was said.
Right. It's almost like he realizes he might get some backlash for this because there are a lot of LeBron fans out there. He's one of the best to ever play the game. As much as I may disagree with his politics, he's a great basketball player, and so he has a lot of fans. But to Shaquille's point, LeBron, he made $39 million this year alone to play basketball. He signed an $85 million 2-year extension at the end of last season during that short off season that he had with no time to rest. He had plenty of time to make $85 million, though. He'll make over $40 million for each of the next 2 seasons, according to ESPN, on his current contract. So it's not like he is, starved for money. It's not like he's got a real terrible life. I know, professional sports are difficult, but it's all, it's all
But he's making
perspective.
over $100,000 a day.
Right.
7 days a week.
Right.
And I bet you we work more in a week than he does.
If you count it by the hours, I suspect that's true.
Yeah.
And that's what Shaquille O'Neal said. He was talking about, we go to the gym, we practice 2 hours a day or so, and then sometimes we have a game for 3 hours. And that's what we do. And we make this much money.
Yeah.
And so I guess
And by we, I mean you. I mean I don't do any work around here, but you guys,
We pay.
especially the interns,
Right.
we overwork them.
Yeah.
We violate all sorts of
get
federal
paid.
laws.
Right.
regarding
It's
that.
all
Right.
part of the hazing process.
Yeah, exactly.
You pay our
That's right.
salary. Right.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. That's how this works.
Right. But I guess my question, just regarding this LeBron and Shaquille O'Neal saga, is during a time when you've got families who are struggling to put food on the table, struggling to pay mortgages, and that's something that a lot of NBA players have been really outspoken about. They're obviously aware of what's going on. It's very clear. How can LeBron be this tone deaf that he's going to make a comment like this when he realizes, other people are struggling to provide for their family. Like, how is he not aware of how this comment's going to come across, do you think?
Man, we see so many instances of this from either celebrities or athletes or politicians who are so incredibly tone deaf. You guys remember even with Nancy Pelosi, right when COVID started, with the $30,000 refrigerators and pulling the ice cream out, while there's millions of Americans starving and out of work. And now we have LeBron James complaining about making hundreds of millions of dollars, but he's overworked, while there's still literally millions of Americans out of work, on the verge of losing their house. They could be going bankrupt. Like, it is so tone deaf. And personally, I think if you're employed, you don't really have the right to complain to the world, and especially when you're making hundreds of millions of dollars while there's all these people unemployed. I don't think that's something you should do. I think what he did, what he said, is just horrible. It's nasty towards probably a large portion of his fans. I mean, I imagine there's LeBron fans who are out of work and have to sit and listen to him preach and complain about all the money he's making and how overworked he is. It's
not to go too much into a California rant, but LeBron plays in Los Angeles. That's a city that's been shut down for a long time.
10% unemployment there.
Yeah, probably my favorite part of his rant was the how disappointed viewers are to not be able to watch their favorite players. I mean, I have a feeling there's maybe a Chris Paul fan out there who's like, what are you talking about there, LeBron? Or, there are plenty of good players playing. It's the playoffs. There are plenty of good players playing. Yeah. Talk about sour grapes. I mean, the fans want to see me and they can't. That's so sad.
I bet you that's what's driving this.
Of course that's what's driving
this. Well, yes,
that's it.
His co-All-NBA player, Anthony Davis, got hurt. They got eliminated in the first round, and that's a big reason that he's angry.
This is all about self-centeredness. Tone deaf is exactly the right word for it, Rant.